Hi, welcome to Microsoft SQL Tutorials. My name is Amir. This is part 14, Introduction to SQL Aggregation Functions. In this session, we will learn what is an aggregate function and what are different SQL aggregate functions and their syntaxes. First of all, we'll check it out. What is an SQL aggregate function? In a database management, an aggregate function is a function where the values of the multiple rows are grouped together to form a single value of more significant meaning or measurement. If I give you an example, if you see in the previous videos, we explained about the employee details table. In employee detail table, we are having salary, department ID, and whatnot, different arithmetic operations we have done on the employee details table. Now we are going to do the aggregate function on the employee details table. An aggregate function allows you to perform a calculation on a set of values to return a single scalar value. We often use aggregate functions with the group by and having clause of select statement. If you see, there are five aggregate functions we are having on our screen. One is average, count, minimum, maximum, sum. These are all the aggregate functions what we are having. Except for count, aggregate functions ignores null values. So we can't ignore null values over there in the count, whereas the remaining functions, whereas average, minimum, maximum, sum, we can ignore null values for that functions. Now let one by one, we will see what are the syntaxes for each and every aggregate function. If you see on my screen, aggregate function average, we'll make it as AVG. Select AVG column name from table name where condition. So we're going to use average function, that is aggregate function, on the column name, whatever the column that we are going to use it. Okay, I will show you each and everything in the example that we are having the scenarios for the aggregate functions. Now we'll see the count aggregate function syntax, where if you see, select count of column name from table name where the condition that you're going to using it. In the same way, if sometimes, as I said previously, group by and having, if there is multiple columns that we want to group by at that time, we're having the having clause. Right now, we're not using anything in our scenarios group by and having. Now we'll see the minimum syntax, minimum aggregate function syntax. If you see, if I want to get the minimum salary from the employees, what we can do, select minimum column name from table name where condition. If I want the maximum salary from the employees, I'm going to use the aggregate function. The syntax for that is select max, what is the column name that we are going to do aggregate functions from table name where condition. If I want to check it out the total employee salary, then I will go for the sum aggregate function. Select sum column name from table name where condition. Now let me open the scenarios for the aggregate functions. If you see that I have created 7 scenarios for the aggregate functions. Okay, if you see, first fetch the number of records from the employee details table, in the sense how many employees are there, the total count of the employee from the employee details table, that I can use count as aggregate function. Okay, fetch the number of records from the employee details whose department ID is 10. I want to check it out for particular department ID, who the number of employees count for the particular department ID. Now fetch the average current salary from the employee details. So there's the average salary. To get it, which aggregate function I need to use? AVG, the aggregate function that I'm going to use to calculate the average current salary. In the same way, fetch the average current salary from employee details whose department equal to 20. Here also that I'm going to use average is the aggregate function. So as I said, fetch the max current salary from the employee details from all the departments. So irrespective of the departments, I want to check out who is having the max current salary. Okay, what is the maximum salary that I am going to pay for the particular employee? In the same way, the sixth scenario to find out the minimum salary from the employee details table. And the seventh scenario, if you see, fetch the sum of the current salary from all the employees from employee details. So what are the aggregate function that I'm going to use it? I'm going to use sum with aggregate function. Let me copy all these things and I will show you one by one by practical section. Now let me switch to Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Now if you see, there's the employee details table that I'm having. If you see employee ID, employee first name, employee last name, date of joining, and I'm having current salary, previous salary, city, department ID. Now, what are the scenarios that I have shown? I'm going to implement them on the employee details table. Let me paste first, and now I'm going to execute one by one. So fetch the number of records from the employee details table. What is the query that select query that I'm going to write it out? Select. I'm going to use count as an aggregate function. What is the count? I'm going to check it out. Columns, all the columns. Star is nothing but all the columns from employee underscore details table. The count will return the number of records. Count rows in a specified table or view. It will get all the number of records from the particular table. Okay. If you see, I'm going to execute it. I can find it out how many records are there based on the select query. I'm having 12 records. So that's the reason we're going to use the count star. Okay, from the employees details table. Now let me see the same query for the with department ID equal to 10. So I'm going to copy it for the time being. So I'm going to use where condition, right? Where department underscore ID, what is the condition we have to use? Equal to 10. Now let me execute that. So based on the department ID equal to 10, there are 10 records are there. The count it is going to give it as the number of records over there, right? So this is the functionality, this is the use of the average aggregate functionality by using the count. Now let me use average aggregate functionality. See, if you see the scenario, fetch the average current salary from the employees. What I need to do, select. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use average as the aggregate function, which that I'm going to check out the current salary. All right, I'm going to give the column name as current under salary. If you see, the average salary from all the employees is 20,666 Indian currency, INR. So this is the average that I'm going to pay for the employees who are already having 12 employees over there, right? I'm going to pay the average amount of rupees 12,000. So if you want to check it out, now I'm going to use select query, select star from employee underscore details table. Okay, let me execute this. If you see the current salary that what I'm having, so there are 12,000, 18,000. The average salary for the 12 employees is 20,666 rupees. Now let me show you what is the average salary that I'm going to pay for the department ID 20, right? So I'm going to copying the same thing, but I'm going to use where condition where department underscore ID equal to 20, right? Now if you see the average salary is 19,000 for the department ID who are the employees are there, for them average salary is 19,000. So in which scenario that I want to check it out, see in the live scenarios we'll ask the people what is the average salary that we are going to pay for the particular department. In the sense we are going to give the same query, select average current salary from the employee details where department ID equal to particular department. Now, I want to see the maximum salary that I'm going to pay for a maximum salary that I'm going to pay across the departments, right? If you see from all the departments, what I'm going to use, max is the aggregate function that I'm going to use, right? What is the column name that I'm going to mention it? Current salary from what is the table name? Employee underscore details. Now, if you see, this is the maximum salary that I'm going to pay it across the all department. That 30,000 is the max salary that I'm going to pay it. To confirm it, let me execute once again. If you see, I have 25,000 over here, but if you see that I'm going to pay Jack 30,000 and the mail and the department ID is 10. Okay, I'm going to pay maximum salary for this employee Jack. Now, in the same way, I want to check it out the minimum salary that I'm going to pay for the employee. If you see that, I'm going to say select min underscore min. What is the column name? Current salary, right? From which table? From employee underscore details table, right? If you execute that, I'm paying minimum salary is 12,000 across the depot, across the employee table. So who is that person? Stuart. Later, though, that I'm going to pay minimum salary of 12,000 that I'm going to pay him. Okay. Now I want to check it out the sum of the all the employees' salary. So how much amount that I'm going to pay all the employees, then I'm going to use the aggregate function as sum. Select sum. What is the column name? Current salary from employee underscore details table. So if you execute it, the sum of the salaries is approximately 2.48 lakhs that I'm going to pay. That is Indian currency that I'm going to pay. 2 lakhs 48,000 that I'm going to pay across the employee details. I'm going to pay across the all departments. I hope we have covered count, average, max, min, and some aggregate functions across this section. I hope you understand the functionality of the aggregate functions. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.